Hey everyone! Today I'm going to talk to you about buying a home and steps to take in order to prepare to buy a home. So before you even talk to anyone, here are some things that you should try to do. The first is to save up. There are a couple of out-of-pocket expenses that you have to pay besides the main deposit when you buy a house. For example, your inspections. Inspections are going to run you anywhere from $500 to maybe $700, depending on who you use and how big the house is. They can go higher than that depending on if you need more or more specified inspections, but that's about the average, $500 to $600 or $700. Your appraisal will start around about $500, and your lender will be the one who orders that. Closing costs are about 3% of your sales price. So if you buy a house for $100,000, your closing costs will probably be around $3,000. Sellers do sometimes cover those closing costs, but that's something that you agree to in the contract and figure out there. And buyers do sometimes pay for them themselves. Another thing is, of course, the deposit. So depending on the loan that you're using, your deposit could be as small as 1%. There's certain special loan programs that make them that low. And there's also, with conventional, you could be up to 20%, depending on what you can put down. So it's very varied. FHA loans are usually about 3.5%, and 5% is also very common with conventional loans. So just depending on your situation and which loan you're in, that will depend on how much the deposit will be. And you will need a little bit of money for the EMD, the earnest money deposit up front, which I do have another video on. So if you have questions about that, go ahead and search through those. It's labeled EMD. Next thing is pay your bills on time. And that might seem like a small thing. It might seem like, if I miss one, it won't matter. And overall, you're right, that can be fixed. But it is good, especially within the year prior to wanting to buy your house, that everything is put away well, you've paid all your bills on time, because when you start to talk to a lender, some things can come back to bite you, and it won't keep you from buying a home forever, but it can make things a little trickier, and there can be some hoops you have to jump through in order to get those off your history. So just try to pay your bills on time. And then when you have done that for about a year, you feel like you've got, about $5,000 or more saved up, talk to a lender, or I recommend a couple of lenders, because different lenders have different rates, and you want to make sure that you're getting the lowest interest rate you possibly can, and that you're working with the lender that you trust and you feel like understands you. And lenders tell you if you're in the position to buy or not, and they are very helpful with steps you need to take in case you aren't quite ready. So they're the ones who really can get into the nitty-gritty and explain to you what you need to do in order to be in the situation that you want to be in. And I know, especially if you're a first-time home buyer, that shopping with multiple lenders at the same time can be a little confusing and a little overwhelming, because there is a lot of paperwork and a lot of questions. Again, I just recommend it so that you know you're getting the best deal. It's not something you have to do. If you have a lender that you trust, that's totally fine. I always recommend a local mortgage lender specifically, because it's their specialty and because they're local. So if anything happens, you can come on in and see them and ask them questions face to face. That's all I've got for preparing to buy a home. If you guys have any more questions, just let me know. Thanks. And in this video prior, I called the down payment a deposit. What I meant was a down payment for the home. That is the main expense that you guys will have when you're buying a home.